Okay, glad to meet you with another session on this knowledge sharing series. So, I'm hopeful that all of you are keeping fine and safe. I've started on this particular knowledge sharing series last week, and I'm getting on to the second session today. And today, the idea is to share with you, particularly, I'm referring again to the students, the study plan and how to study. Typically, the major point of discussion we have with our students is, though I keep telling them to spend a lot of time on studies, but the basic question that keeps coming into the minds of students is how to study and how to plan our studies in an effective manner so that we get the best out of the time we spend on studies. Good. Yeah. Very fundamental actually, but it makes a lot of difference to one's preparation when a student is able to plan his study well. Now, when we talk of studies, we have to identify the subjects for study, obviously, and there are broadly two categories of subjects, I would put it. One is about the practical subjects where you have something like cost accounting, financial accounting, you have financial management and all that, and we have in fact taxation also, which is basically a topic which is referred to as a practical subject. Then we have something theoretical subjects like you have law, you have basically strategic management and all that. So you actually divide your studies into two broad subject categories. One is practical subjects and another is, as I said, the theoretical subjects. Now, let us understand that, let us assume that all of you are going to appear for two groups, okay, so which constitutes of 8 subjects actually, so 800 marks exams, and you are planning for two groups. Typically, my suggestion to all of you, again I am going by my experience, as I said, whatever I am talking to you is out of my experience only, and this can be fine-tuned to suit your requirements also. So this is more of a broad indicative approach. So not something which is sacrosanct and you have to follow compulsorily. So my dear students and others who are listening to this, my suggestion, even parents may recommend this to their own daughters and sons about how to approach to study. Okay, if you divide these subjects into practical subjects and theoretical subjects, ideally, let us say you start your day at, so some may be studying late up to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the night, or even 2 o'clock and all that, and wake up early or later in the morning, depending on your body clock. So you may choose to study late in the night, or somebody will have the ability to wake up early in the morning, but they have to go to bed early. So that is something purely your choice. Again, I'm not going to define that what is the best time to study. It purely depends on your body clock, how much you are used to. So typically, take my example. I used to be a little guy who sit late in the night to a certain extent, and also wake up a little early in the morning. It's a balanced one. So sort of. So only in my school days, 11th or 12th, probably I used to stretch beyond 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock. But after that, I thought that is not the best way for me at least. So I decided this way. I used to study up to latest by 11:30 or 12. I will not go beyond that in any day. 11:30, 12, I close my books and go to sleep, and next day I wake up at least by 5:36 in the morning and start the day. Okay, now let us start with 5 o'clock. Let us assume that you all wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Of course, you have your daily routines to do, and generally speaking, let us say you start your studies at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would recommend you early in the morning when you wake up, your mind is fresh, you all know that, and your mind is capable of picking up things much faster, and you will be able to understand things much faster. So I would recommend you to start with a subject which you feel is more challenging for you. Particularly choose a theory subject. The theory subject which I would recommend you to choose, for example, could be like enterprise information system, or for that matter even strategic management and law. Early in the morning, when you're fresh in your mind, I would recommend you to go through these 3 subjects which will enable you to pick up the points well and retain it in your memory for a longer period of time. So don't think of anything else in the morning. Straight away go to the subject, theoretical subjects, which you feel it's little challenging for you to understand and remember particularly. Because we see, don't forget the fact, at the end of the day, our exams are also a test for our memory. Let us not forget that fact. Though knowledge is the basis and all that, but the memory becomes a critical point. We need to remember things in a better way. So memory plays a key role here. You have to remember and go and write. When that is the case, you need to remember things better. So early in the morning, if you choose a theoretical subject, you will be able to remember things better, and particularly in theoretical subjects, choose the one where you find it difficult to absorb the points. So when you choose the first thing in the morning, a subject like this, in my final or intermediate level, this is what I did actually. Morning time I always spend for theoretical subjects. So let us say, so 6 to 7:30 you read a subject, then you take a small break maybe, and then 8 to 9:30 you study another subject. Then 10 to 11:30, then your, of course, your day-to-day routine manage in between. I don't want to get into that, and have your lunch or whatever. I would recommend you so typically a 10:30 12 slot or 11 to 12:30 slot, keep it for income tax, for example, because that is a time where you're not too fresh, not too tired, but you are able to understand things and do things well. So move into a practical subject. So something like 10:30 12, start working on subject like income tax. 12:30, 2 hours you can spend on that. Then you can have your rest 12:30, 1 or 2 o'clock and up to 4 o'clock. So this time is a time where I believe, at least for me, it is not a productive time. At least for me. I don't know why it is so, but I don't know about you. So you can decide on that. So 12 to 2 or 12 to 3 hours I keep it for myself. I either see TV or take a nap or do whatever I want. I do my hobby. I sing a song or see a movie or whatever it is. So these 3 hours, I know when I study, it is not going to be effective for me. So I don't use the 3 hours for study purposes. I keep it for myself. I do whatever I want. So I leave that to you, how you want to go about it. You sleep, you see a movie, you chat with your friends, you see whatever you want. No problem. But 3 o'clock to 3:30, again, having a cup of tea or cup of coffee, you are again rejuvenated. What you should do, go with accounting. Accounting, it could be financial accounting or it could be cost and management accounting. Spend a couple of hours on that. Then again, financial management, again 1.5 to 2 hours. So you spend after 3:30 to 4, next 6 hours or so on practical subjects. When you go to bed or before going to bed, something like 9 to 10:30 or 11 o'clock, read something which is soft, which is something which you can easily understand, which is something which you can relish, which you need not put so much of effort into understanding it. Because what I mean to say, this could be a revision basically. So basically the night time after 9 o'clock, instead of doing something new, you can actually revise the subjects what you have covered during the day or the earlier days, or you can prepare for a test, or you can prepare for anything you would like it to. So 9 to 10:30, 11, then 11 o'clock you go to bed. This is how I have been doing in my study times when I was pursuing my professional courses. I found it very useful to me. And one important point I want to highlight here is about the manner in which you cyclically prepare all the subjects. Now this is again an important point for discussion here. Now many students, I find, they are very comfortable with completing a subject and moving on to the other subject. For example, let us say a student will first focus on law completely. He'll finish completely law, then he'll move on to information systems or strategic management, etc. So that is one approach. The other approach is, as I was discussing just now, every day you spend some 1.5 to 2 hours on each subject on an average. Okay, on each day you can't cover all the 8 subjects. Practically difficult. Okay, today you cover some 4 or 5 subjects, tomorrow you cover another 2 3 subjects, or 2 days you cover. Now there is no, try to understand one thing, my dear students and others who are listening to this, there is nothing like fixed. Make it flexible. Your mind should tell you what you should do now. Your mind should feel like doing income tax, then you do income tax. If your mind says, I would like to do accounting, no problem on that. Don't try to fix yourself into a small plan. That will not work. Have a broader plan, and in the broader plan you try to keep it flexible enough so that you have that freshness in mind to accept things and absorb things in a better manner. But one thing don't miss to do is the morning, what I said, try to focus on the subjects which calls for a lot of things to memorize, which is very difficult to absorb and all that, so that you will be able to remember things in a better way or able to understand. So Practical subject, keep it for later time, and practical subject you rotate it and try to solve as many problems and all that, okay, so that you will have adequate practice in solving problems, which will give you enough speed in the exam, and that is very, very important in practical subjects. The theory subjects, very simple way to put. Some of my students ask me how to read a theory subject. Very, very simple. Theory subject is like reading any book for that matter. When you read a book, it could be a novel or fiction or whatever you call, you just read it in the flow. You don't try to consciously understand something in that, because as you read, you understand. Correct? So you don't have any sort of pre-planned thing to understand that particular novel or fiction, because you keep and you read in the flow and you try to pick up what is in it. Your mind is capable of picking up. You need not consciously try to pick up something from that fiction. You will understand it. Same thing applies for a theory subject, my dear students. Very, very simple. Don't try to read a theory paper with an intention to, oh, okay, I have to understand this, I have to understand this, I have to remember this. No. Read it in the flow. Like reading any other book, you keep reading it once, twice, thrice. Okay, then you will get to know what is in the book. And then it gets into the revision mode. You revise it few times and you will be able to understand and appreciate it better. And one small suggestion to all of you is that don't read too many books, particularly in theory paper. In theory paper, stick to one or two maximum. One is your institute material. You need to necessarily use that, for simple reason that your questions will be asked from your institute material, and general expectation is that what is in the institute material is what they expect you to write generally, though not compulsory. So read the institute material, first thing. The second thing, you can have any standard book for your reference. Don't go beyond this. Everything else comes later. Your scanner, your model papers, your suggested answers, all that you have to do as additional work beyond these two books. The same thing applies to a practical subject, though in practical subject you can work beyond two books. In practical subjects you can work problems from 3 or 4 books also, no problem on that. But theory paper, don't move beyond 2 books. One institute material compulsory. Second thing could be any other book, bare act, any book or any standard book which you feel good, which your teacher tells you, which your professor or your coach or mentor tells you, follow that book. Don't go and try to pick up some class notes from internet, Google search, blah blah blah. Don't mess it up, because it will cause a lot of confusion to you. Don't ever go into that. My dear students, I am telling you, don't go beyond 2 books for a theory paper. Simple mantra. And for practical subjects alone, no issues. Okay, clear? Do this. And you then come and tell me whether you are able to spend that expected time in your studies. The answer is an emphatic yes. You will tell me, sir, as you suggested, I planned my preparation today. I did it today in this manner. I was able to study well, effectively. Effective learning and studying is very, very important. Spending 12 hours on study is not important, but spending quality time and effectively studying is very, very important. Don't keep the book in your hand and think of something else. Don't keep the book in your hand and keep reading it without taking anything into your mind, without understanding or absorbing it. What is the point? If you take the book, you have to read consciously, you have to be sincere. If you feel not like reading, don't take the book. You do something else. Don't do injustice to your studies. If you take your book, make sure you study well, you understand well, try to understand well, try to do quality job. Yes, my mind is now in a shape, or basically today I am in a position to accept things when I read it. If my mind is not in the particular frame, setup, etc., then I should not read. Another one thing before I forget is that income tax is a subject which I would recommend all of you to read daily, at least for 1 hour, daily, minimum for 1 hour. Other subjects, Today if you don't read law, tomorrow you can read it. Today if you don't do accounts, tomorrow you can do it. Today and tomorrow you don't do accounts, day after tomorrow you can do it, no problem. Day after tomorrow do accounts for 4 hours, no issues. Income tax, make it a point to read daily. There are multiple provisions which you need to familiarize. Familiarization becomes very, very important. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens over a period of repeated revisions. Income tax requires that. So I am very particular about the subject income tax or taxation for that matter, even GST, where I would recommend all of you to study at least 1 to 1.5 hours on a daily basis. So today, let us say you didn't have time at all, you are busy with something else. I don't want you to do anything else other than studying income tax for 1 to 1.5 hours. Without doing that, don't go to sleep. Make it as a mantra. These are the small things which I want you to do. And if you are able to do it effectively, then I am telling you, you are going to succeed with flying colors. I can assure you that. And rank, you can plan or you may not plan. It will come along with you. You will get a rank. You will succeed first and you will get a rank. No doubt about that. So try to follow these important, which I feel. And again, I'm telling you, all my experience, I'm putting in an essence and giving it to you. So I wish all of you make full use of this and find out how effectively it is working out for you. As I said, fine tune it according to your own requirements. It is not something which is compulsory or something fixed. But in this, whatever I said, fine tune it here and there and make sure that it suits you, adapts. You have to adapt to the whole thing. So it should suit you. So make it flexible enough that you enjoy the whole process, and it shouldn't be bogging you like, no, oh, I have to study for 8 hours. No, don't ever think of 8 hours, 10 hours. That is something, a number. That number is in no way connected to your mindset. Your mindset is to study. How much you study, take a calculation at the end of the day. So don't start the day, I have to study for 12 hours, then your mind will tell, hey, come on, what are you putting me in trouble? No. Start your day. Simply keep reading. Simply try to work out problems. At the end of the day, before you go to bed, just check out. Oh, good, I have studied for 10 hours today. Great. Okay. I am sure all of you are capable of doing this. All of you are good enough to do all of this. And each one of you are intelligent, right? It's only a question of how effectively you are going to use that to your advantage. If you are using your intelligence and brilliance to your advantage, you are the winner. Nobody can be the winner. So always you are the winner. So let us catch up with the next session very soon. Take care. Bye.